Hello everybody, how are you going? And welcome to this video where today I want to be looking at what is Canada's most expensive real estate and what does it truly offer. So honestly, I think the best way to be doing this is just to be trying to draw a nice big accurate circle. Oop, there we go over here. I might be stuffing it up, but just like this, including all the possible areas, just like that, and applying to see what possibly comes up. While obviously we can get things for a very reasonable price compared to what we're going to be looking at. Let's just go, honestly, I guess I want to see, does anything even come up for 18 million? Yes, it does. Wow. Well then, can we just go high to low? What do we have? 76 million. What does that possibly get us? It looks like a very commercially developable block of land. What did I read? At 4.47 acres. Fair enough. In the middle of where? That's what I want to be knowing. Nestled in the eastern CBD, so to say, of Vancouver. And so that does make sense, especially when you see these renders, or I guess that one render. But for 76 million, man, that is a crazy listing. The fact that it's even just on this site blows my mind. I mean, I do find it funny that this is the entire description. Just 3 sentences or 3 lines. That's it. You know, it's not like even a residential place where they'll try and just sell you every little nook and cranny. No. This is all you need to know. If you've got 76 million as an investment firm to be spending, I guess you know what you're looking at already. But moving along to the next one, we have 58,800,000. Honestly, I did not know that Canada would have places this expensive. I mean, I guess maybe 1 or 2. It seems to drop off pretty quickly. And so for almost 50% more than the next ones down the line, what do you truly get? It looks pretty nice, I must say. I mean, whether you can ever justify nearly spending $60 million, that's on you. That's on the corporation buying this. But at least it does look pretty nice. It's not just a render, and it is on, I'm going to have to look where it is, but obviously it's a major shipping route on the lakes somewhere. So I would have thought it would be in Vancouver, but clearly not, unless this is just on the harbor or something. But this is a crazy low level place, just like a fire pit, that if the tide comes up, so I guess it can't be tides, but if the tide did come up, you'd smother all of this stuff. Looking through these photos, though, you can certainly see the opulence that is just around here between all the stonework and the tile formats and the glass. I mean, this is Canada, you know, we're in cold area territory. It's not in the Bahamas, but still, when you have this level of glass, even the UK doesn't have this level of glass, you know that you were in for a treat. Or a very, very high price tag, as not many people can afford to be spending this much on glass and the heating and cooling bill. I mean, at least with the cooling, you can just dive in the pool and then dive from the pool into the lake, I can only presume. But man, look at this place. I mean, it's nice. There's no way that you can say that it's not nice. Even if it's not to your taste, you can objectively say that it's a nice property that I reckon anyone in the world would go, yes, I would definitely be fine with living here, at least temporarily. Honestly, though, some of these kitchens in Canada always just surprise me, or North America in general. They just, I don't know, unless it's LA, they just don't seem to do crazy kitchens, or some $150 million or $250 million penthouse in New York and Manhattan or something. I don't know, that kitchen looks really kind of normal, unless that's like a butler's kitchen, but it's not. I haven't seen any other photos. And so for that to be the whole kitchen, it's nice, but it's just not that lavish. You know what I mean? Like the rest of the house is opulent, beautiful, the timber work, the stonework, and then that's a kitchen that you could see in, I don't know, a $5 million house or a $2 million house compared to a 60 million Canadian dollar house. I mean, I'm still just looking through all of these photos and going, yeah, it is exactly what I would have expected, but nothing too crazy. I mean, there's concrete work, there's movie theater rooms, there's outdoor lounge areas, there's wine cellars, clearly. There's everything that these kind of level of individual is going to be expecting from a place that you're spending 60 million on. And so I guess it's kind of all the same. So how big is this place? A 10,000 square foot house, isn't it? Yes, on a 0.9 acre lot built in 1999. And where exactly is it going to be? Did I read? Oh, it is Vancouver, so it can't be on the lakes. So it must be, wow, so it's tidal. That's crazy. I hope that's high tide. Otherwise, half your block of land, your 0.9 acres, is going to be underwater. I expected it to be over here. And so truly, what do they say? Located on the most coveted West Bay neighborhood of the West Vancouver of West Vancouver, this magnificent residence designed by architects is situated in one of the most prized waterfront properties in Greater Vancouver. I mean, it makes sense, and from everything that we saw there is no hiding that. That is truly going to be why someone is buying it. I am kind of surprised, unless I completely missed it, that there was no kind of jetty or landing. You know, they said 200 feet, was it? It must be feet. 200 feet of natural shoreline with no ability to park a boat or anything like that. That seems surprising. Like I said, for 60 million, you know what kind of property area and bracket you were in when you're spending 60 million? And I can't even pull up my $10 million boat here. Like even just a dinghy to then get, oh, maybe you can. Or there's a little bit of a boathouse, but there's not an extended jetty. But it doesn't look like the neighbors have one either. And so maybe it's a permittable thing by the councils and everything. Either way, that little bit of a boat shed is not going to be cutting it for my multi-million-dollar ocean liner that I probably can afford as well. Next in line, though, at number 3, we have another place I can see in Vancouver, but it listed for $49,800,000. Now, please let me know why you would even bother putting it at $800,000. Either get rid of the $800,000 or put another $200,000 on, because that's not going to be the deal breaker here. I mean, I can already see a little bit of this property, and it looks pretty nice. It doesn't seem to have 200 feet of natural shoreline, I can assure you that, but it does seem to be quite the block of land. Where was it? 12,000 square foot house, so bigger, on a similar enough lot. But this is a pretty nicely finished place. I mean, it's a little bit more grayscale than the other. The timber work in the other place was pretty darn nice, and not that many photos, but quite the driveway into this place. Half of your 0.85 acres is just driveway, but man, this is maybe a render, or I don't know. Surely you would have more photos for a $50 million place. I mean, the other place had 40 photos. This one has 8, which is the same amount of bathrooms that it has. I mean, it's a little bit of a skewed scale because I don't believe the other one had 40 baths. No, it actually only had 7. But to only have 8 photos seems strange. I mean, I do want to be looking where it is. It does look like, it's in a similar spot in the grand scheme of things to where this one was. It's not that far. It's kind of just across the harbour, isn't it? Is that where I'm looking at? Oh, I'm a little bit more zoomed out, but yeah, it's just across the harbour. And I guess to be fair, the other first one was down here, and so 3 for 3 for Vancouver right now. It definitely shows you where the true upper pinnacle, the 0.001% of people, property developers, whatever you want to be calling them, are living and buying. But what do they say? Once again, not a massive description. Surprising. Like, why is it so limited? I feel like maybe they just chucked it on Zillow for the sake of it. But if you're in the know, you've already been contacted. No one that it can look at it on this website or would even be looking at it on this website would ever buying it. They'd just be sending their agents and already be called prior to it even going up. Hang on a second, am I crazy? No, I'm not crazy. I was just reading through going, okay, yeah, the usual, the marble counter, the open concept living, sure. But then it said 6 well-appointed bedrooms, but then I remembered it only being 5. And so I was going, wait, is it 6 or is it 5? And even that, like, surely you know it's 6 or if it's 5. And the attention to detail in the exceptional craftsmanship and luxury materials of the building, you at least want to try and carry that through to the listing. So this entire thing just doesn't make sense. I mean, it's got 3,000 views and half a year and only 81 saves because you are going to be appealing to a certain demographic, which is relatively similar to the other one as well. But why does this one just feel like it's not real yet? Like it feels like it's just something not fishy going on, but I'm just surprised for a $50 million place you only get 8 photos in 1 paragraph. Otherwise, though, we start getting some fairly slim pickings as we just go to very developable blocks of land. I mean, it's New Tuxameth. I have no idea how to be saying that. Ontario, for $40 million, you get 33 acres. Or apparently, if you just read the description, you get to buy more. You just get 89 acres. And so that's like, again, why are these being so different? Honestly, it just continues and just does not make sense. Why am I buying a $40 million four-bedroom studio? Is that what I'm reading here? But it's clearly not. It's just a massive area of land. I have no idea what is going with the land. But moving on to this next one, we have a $40 million place. So we've gone from 58 million, call it 60 million to 50 million to 40 million in 3 properties. Again, looks very, very nice. This one, going off this photo, does have a jetty. So if you've got a boat, maybe this is the one to consider, but for 78 photos, that makes more sense. You were paying $15,000 in photographer's fees for something like this. And it looks like it's paid off. That's a pretty nice looking spot right here. I mean, these photos are a little bit smaller, but whoa, is that the driveway? Why does it have it's like it's a massive roundabout going to all the different elements of France. But no, that's just all your different aspects that you could possibly be going to. Is this an entire resort? My goodness, this is an impressive property. I think I'm more impressed by this one than any of the other ones. I mean, especially for 50% more for the first one. I don't feel like I'm getting 50% more property. I mean, look at this place. The view, I don't have to stare at oil tankers and cargo ships all my entire life. I mean, is it in Vancouver? I didn't even see. Lake County, BC. Okay, well, where exactly is it going to be then? It's going to be more north? Is it going to be... okay. That's not where I expected. But it also makes sense, and I've never really considered all of these just high-profile areas just around these lakeside properties in Kelowna? I don't know. Honestly, even just the numbers here make a lot more sense. Between 9 baths, 12 full baths, 4 half baths. That's a nice little detail. With 20,000 square feet on an 8.5 acre lot built in 2013. It's honestly the most impressive one we've seen so far. It might not be to everyone's taste. It seems a little bit more reserved or North American in terms of not pokey, but smaller, less open plan in places like here where we can see the kitchen. Unless this is definitely going to be the butler's pantry kitchen. Is that a stainless steel door? Is that a walk-in fridge in a house? I can't say I've seen that before. That's impressive. But for 40 million, like I said, I feel like this one makes more sense. That is a hell of a master bedroom. That is crazy as a bathroom. That's the size of a studio apartment. This is the 4-bedroom studio apartment that we saw for 40 million, and this one technically costs less. That's wild. That's a bathroom? That looks like a massive open plan living kitchen or hotel room or foyer or something like that. Look at that wardrobe, like walk-in wardrobe, closet, whatever you want to be calling it. This is crazy. Like, how many people can live here? I guess I said nine, right? 9 beds. This is I don't know if you can tell, but I'm definitely the most impressed by this one. It's everywhere. Like, it just has everything. And it's not even really my taste of style of building, but it just seems the most bang for buck, if that's even a thing you can really compare in this price bracket. I mean, it feels like you get to a point where spending more money, or people just spend more money because they can spend more money. But this one feels like you're actually spending just enough money just to be getting what you need. I mean, you can probably helicopter into this place. Or like, what is this? Is that a workout room, a yoga room? I guess it's just where you display all your artifacts from around the world that you've collected on your summering and wintering trips. There we go. That is what I wanted to see. And I guess I could have seen it from satellites as well, but I was wondering if they were going to be showing it. And it only took 72 photos to see it. But honestly, this kind of property makes me think of wedding destination / hotel more than residential property. It's in that kind of element where it can accommodate 30 people. I mean, there was just bunk beds, like inbuilt bunk beds here. If I can find it. Oh, there we go. It was there for a moment. You know, you have things like this, which is clearly 4 kids' beds or 4 bunk beds, but it's in a $40 million place. And so it's 9 bedrooms, but it can sleep way more. And you're not going to be putting just your multi-million-dollar family in bunk beds like this. It feels like a wedding destination. I don't know. I mean, you've certainly got the dock space, and then you can just go from there to playing chess in the backyard in your massive chessboard, but it just doesn't feel like a house. But not in a particularly bad way. It just feels like it's incorrectly listed. It feels more like, I don't know, this one than this one. This felt like a big house, super expensive, whereas this place feels a little bit less like a house, and it seems so separated, which, as we can see both in this and the other photo, it is. Like, yes, you've got interconnected little tunnels, but it's still 5 buildings. And so I don't know, is it a house? Is it a hotel? Is it a wedding destination? I feel like that's what it's truly living up to. And maybe that's exactly what it's going to be saying. Because even just the size of it, surely there's got to be some level of... I'm just trying to skim it. I don't see anything saying that it's a wedding venue or it's a massive Airbnb or anything. It just seems to be a waterfront estate, lush landscaping and pristine water frontage, state-of-the-art wharf system, all of those kind of things. Like, it's advertised as someone's house. And hey, if you want to live there, if you've got 40 million... that seems like the best one so far, but can we beat it? What can you get for 30 million? Because it just goes for a lot of land, 37, another waterfront estate, 8 beds, 11 baths, apparently all full. You got a tennis court, you've got all of these good things, and it's one big property. It doesn't seem as crazy though. I feel like for $2 million more, you probably feel like you get a little bit more from the other place. But when you see a nice big fisheye lens like that, that's like normal. If you just dream of a mansion, like a proper mansion, that's what I think of. Just this pool over next to the lake, probably next to this white building, not house, not place, building. Honestly, I'm surprised that they haven't kind of just dredged this a little bit, considering that looks like some pretty low clearance dock area. I mean, I guess it would be fine for jet skis, and maybe out there would be fine for a bit of a deeper boat. But geez, to have a full-on boat shed with double, how do you have a double car garage boat shed with no ramps? It beats me. I swear these people don't think about this half the time, but that is one hell of a driveway, but it's one hell of a nice aspect too. You certainly seem to be having your own little pristine, just little cave, so to say, not cave, but just enclave of land where you can do anything and everything you could ever possibly want in the middle of nowhere. But it only costs you 37 million, not 39, but 37 million in the middle of not Vancouver. Wow, we have finally made it to the other side of the country, and not even onto the main lakes, but up into Lake Simcoe. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Outside of Barrie, right there on Shanty Bay, we are living the high life. That is the perfect word for it. Palatial mansion. That, like I said, if I was just thinking of one thing in particular, it would be that. Just a proper mansion. Like these other places are nice. They're beautiful homes and they're huge, so they're classified as mansions. But I don't know, this is just like, I think it's the white walls, the white render, and that you've got, I can see it in this photo, you've got a 4-car garage that is connected to the house. You've got another, I don't know if it's a garage or what, it certainly looks like another garage. Then you had 2-car spot sized garages in your boathouse, all white walls, all massive place, surrounded by bushland, but your lawn's completely manicured. It just looks like royalty. And so of course it is palatial mansion. It just doesn't get a palatial description to go with it. And so honestly, I'm surprised by all of these places. From the most expensive one having a 3-word summary to then just going down and barely having anything more than a paragraph for any of these. Like I could just find a $200,000 property that gives more photos and more description than most of these ones do. And so I'm surprised that Canada offers this level of money to be paid for buildings, but not this level of detail in the descriptions. And I guess that just truly shows you that you are not reading it yourself. No one that is buying these properties, or whether it's personal or investment firms, no one that is buying these places cares what the real estate agent has to say. They're going there, they either know exactly what they want because they've got the cash on hand to buy it, or their agent just doesn't even need to see the photos. They just have already been rung up by the agents and everyone else around, telling them this property is online, gone and seen it, said no or yes to it, and we just get to, I guess, for our own visual satisfaction, see these places online because they are impressive. We could all dream of being gifted a property like this, winning the Powerball, the Mega Millions, the lottery, whatever it is, and going, oh wow, look what I can spend my $50 million on. This is the kind of level that it buys. But until then, I'm surprised that Canada has it, and I'm surprised they only have this, but man, do they provide some pretty nice properties. That is for sure. And my pick of the yard would be $40 million one, so 50% less than the most expensive house, but still coming in at just a nice, cool, calm, collected $39,898,000 Canadian.